Hey guys, a lot is going on. There's something going on with the eruption, but there's also something going on with my friend, the Blue Lagoon, and it's just incredible. And guys, this is the second time that I have to film this video. Unfortunately, I was outside with the horses, with the nice fields in the background. The horses wanted to say hi. And then when I came in to edit the video, I must have pressed slow motion. So you couldn't hear what I was saying and everything was in slow motion. The horses looked nice when they were chewing in slow motion behind me, but of course I couldn't use the video. So I have to film this inside again. So let's talk about the police chief of Suðurnes, Ulfar Ludvigsson. He says this eruption is not a tourist eruption yet because it is still dangerous there to hike there. And there's a lot of hikers that want to go to these eruption sites. It's very remote sometimes and the hikes are really, really rough and it gets cold at night. And there's a lot of hikers that had to be rescued, not from this site, but in general in Iceland. So people need to be more cautious. And we still have that threat of the sulfur dioxide that is gassing out of the lava and of course of the eruption site. And that's why Ulfar Ludvigsson has met with the Blue Lagoon people. The Blue Lagoon wanted to open on March 27th, but then they had to delay it. And you know, they had one of the workers that was working outside in the area around the Blue Lagoon with his backhoe. He got all of a sudden severe respiratory problems and he had to be hospitalized because the sulfur gas was coming into the area. So at that time, gladly, I find they couldn't open. And you know, we just talked about it yesterday in my video. I said, well, you know, at least the good thing is the Blue Lagoon is still closed. I mean, they'd be crazy to reopen while this eruption is still ongoing. And we have the gas pollution, the toxic gas pollution still ongoing, not continually in one area. But when changes, Blue Lagoon gets it, Grindavik gets it, other areas, it has blown as far as Keflavik Airport or the capital area. So I thought, yeah, while the eruption's going, they're not going to open. And we made jokes in the comment, well, they're sure they will open as soon as they can. And I was baffled when I heard the news. They're opening today. As we speak, they're opening. And the eruption is still ongoing. We talk about this later, and it doesn't show any signs of really wanting to stop because something's happening right underneath the Blue Lagoon again, the Swartsengi area. So why would they open? I mean, honestly, guys, let me know if you think the same, but this is my opinion. This is greed and money raking in, winning again. I mean, seriously, you can't wait a little longer to see whether this eruption is dying out. I mean, honestly, okay, they're saying they're having like gas meters and their staff has gas meters. Well, great. But what does that help me if I have several hundred people? At the last time of evacuation, they had about 700 to 800 people, including staff in the Blue Lagoon. So if the wind changes and the toxic air is coming in, it took them 40 minutes to evacuate. Well, you should have a gas mask for each and one of your clients, shouldn't you? Because otherwise, what does this help you? Is this, guys, are they trying their luck here? Are they trying their luck? This is how I interpret it. This is my opinion, guys. Let's discuss this. I find this crazy. And I have to say one other thing, really honestly. It's an artificial pool that is there because of a geothermal power plant. It's not natural. And yes, it is nice. It's nice to swim in the warm water while the air is cold outside. But I can have this in almost every luxury ski resort in Austria. For example, totally safe. I can swim in an outdoor pool and I can look at the snow and I can have good food and it's probably cheaper. Not, you know, or even in Iceland, there's the Sky Lagoon. There's so many beautiful places. Is it worth breathing toxic air to sit in that pool. I just don't get it, guys. Really, I don't get it. I'd rather sit in my horse's water trough and fill it with water and have the fresh air, and I'm sitting in water before I risk my life in that pot there. And it's not only the pollution, you have a magma chamber right underneath. Yes, they're saying the chances that the magma might come up straight is low, but they don't rule it out. That we have to say. And you know, I would like to hear more. Nobody has ever said it, but the magma chamber is expanding, it's subsiding, it's expanding, it's subsiding, because it's been filling up, erupting, filling up, erupting. Land has been subsiding, land is rising. You know, how often can you do this? If the magma chamber is empty, will it then collapse like it does in other calderas or craters? You know, maybe not, but do you have to take your chances just because you want to swim in warm water and spend a lot of money for that? But guys, in one point, my opinion has changed, because now the eruption is going on and you can see the red sky from the Blue Lagoon. So whoever goes there now must be aware that something's going on and should be able to at least ask, right? And then, you know, if the people still go to take a bath and risk their lives being exposed to toxic air all over a sudden, so be it. I mean, enjoy it, really. I have to say that, because, you know, I really think by now everyone should know, and it's visible. Before, it wasn't really, nothing was on their website, and it was really, people were booking it from other countries. They didn't really know, but, you know, we have to see how their website will change when they're open again. It used to be just a banner, all facilities open, read more, and then nothing, right? No word of anything. And who clicks read more while the facilities are open? Of course, I'm booking right now. Just let me book. I don't need to read that. And then if you clicked more at the beginning, there was not much information, and then gradually they added some information. They were just talking about earthquakes in the first place, and then they added a little bit more about volcanic activity. So I guess now when they open up, they have to say something. Well, by the way, you know, there is an eruption going on. It's not that far away from us, but guess what they're saying, guys? Warning is there in Iceland. On their website, it's saying the Blue Lagoon reopens on April 6th, so that's today. And they're saying, over the past month, we have been reminded of the powers of nature and how they inevitably influence us all. Yeah, so during this time, we have had to temporarily close our operations, but have remained in close contact with Icelandic authorities and acted in accordance with set precautions and measures in the area. Yeah, because of this cooperation, we are able to reopen our operations at the Blue Lagoon, Iceland at 12 p.m. on April 6, 2024. So in a few hours, the opening applies to select facilities, including Blue Lagoon, Blue Cafe, Lava Restaurant, and Retreat and Silica Hotels, the Retreat Spa, and our on-site shop. The Michelin-starred restaurant Moss will reopen on Wednesday, April 10th. They always probably need more time to restock their supplies. And now it comes, they're saying, an eruption at Sutnukasgígur is ongoing, but at a safe distance from the Blue Lagoon. The main factor that influences safety now is air quality, since lava flow is not close to our facilities. Oh, well, is it really not? Didn't they have to redo the access road twice because the lava was flowing there? Okay, right now the lava is, that's right, the fresh lava is not flowing in their direction. So they're not under threat from lava flow. So they say, experts carefully monitor air quality, and we have extended our network of gas sensors at and near the Blue Lagoon. Furthermore, there is a weather station at our facilities, since weather is a deciding factor when it comes to air quality. They did have that. They did have sensors there when the worker got respiratory problems. They say now they have more sensors, but they already did have some, which obviously haven't helped. So I really hope that this is now enough. But you know, when the sensors that are in the Blue Lagoon area sound the alarm, then the bad air is already there, right? So they say, we can therefore gather relevant real-time data in collaboration with authorities and experts to assess and monitor the situation, and we can act accordingly if the need arises. Well, we can act accordingly. What does that mean? Another emergency evacuation, right? Just name it. So, and here they say we always, and I question the word always, because that was my criticism before. They never said a word about that, but now they're saying it. Maybe they're watching my channel. No, I'm just kidding, guys. They're saying we always prioritize the safety of our guests and staff and are continuously improving our processes to make your visit more enjoyable. Okay, so to make your visit more enjoyable, shouldn't that sentence end with to make your visit more safe? So read this again. We always prioritize the safety of our guests and staff, and we are continuously improving our processes to make your visit more enjoyable. That sentence should end to make it more safe. But you know, since they seem to have switched to adrenaline adventure tourism, it is enjoyable for their clients to have an in the middle of the night emergency evacuation, wake up by sirens, look out of the windows, the sky is red from an eruption, and then run out to your car and you feel the heat outside from the eruption. Yeah, so if that's what you mean with enjoyable, you're really working hard to make it more enjoyable by opening all the time and then be evacuated like 7 times. Was it 7 times? So I don't know if you can enjoy your evacuation so greatly if you're breathing toxic volcanic gases. So that remains the question. But here at least they're offering, you can modify your booking through My Booking at any time. If you wish, change it to suit your level of comfort. Sorry, the wording is just a little bit fun, don't you think, guys? To suit your level of comfort. Yeah, I'd like to change it closer to the next eruption date for more comfort, because it's more fun. I don't know. Whatever, right? Okay. For more details and the latest updates on the situation, please visit the Icelandic Meteorological Office, the National Civil Protection Agency, and the Air Quality in Iceland, or Safe Travel. Yeah, if I have to visit all these websites to swim in warm water, is it really worth it? Not for me, sorry guys. And I know the water there has minerals and salt and everything, and it's good for skin problems and everything, but still, I'll just buy a bag of dead sea salt and I'll put it in my tub. And I put a TV to my tub and look at nice landscapes, have a cocktail in my hand. I'm totally safe. And then, yeah, maybe then here, because I'm living on the Cascadia Fault, maybe then the big earthquake hits here and I'm in my tub. Well, then bad luck, right? It is what it is. But just for pleasure to go there, you know, would you take a roller coaster ride? If someone says, well, there is a small chance, but just a little chance that some of the rails might break, but only small, would you take it? I don't know. You know my answer if you know me, if you've been on this channel for a while. If you're new here, that's the Blue Lagoon soap opera. We've been talking about this for quite a while, guys. So if you're new here and if you want to follow the story, please subscribe and like this video. To all of you, please like it to push it out a little bit more. That would be awesome. So then they close their announcement. We look forward to welcoming our guests to a wonder of the world. It is counted as a wonder of the world, although it's not a wonder that the world made, right? It's a man-made. Basically, they built a geothermal power plant and they thought the wastewater that they have would just like disappear in the ground over time, but it didn't. It didn't. So that's why all the minerals and the salt and the silica, that was building a layer like a pool floor, and then this lake was basically made. And I guess then they had the idea to use it for tourism, which, I mean, it looks beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It's just not worth risking my life. That's my opinion. If other people have other opinions, go ahead. It's open in a few hours. You can enjoy it to the max, right? As they're always prioritize the safety of the guests and staff and are continuously improving our processes to make your visit more enjoyable. I have to repeat this because I think it's funny, guys. You just know me. Of course, I have to jump on that sentence and I have to say something. And guys, really, why am I saying all this? Because it is really strange. Because we know the hazard map of the Meteorological Office of Iceland. Nothing has changed in this hazard map. So what justifies the reopening? And we know that there was this meeting. And so what does the police chief of Sudurns really say? So they're saying basically that the operation of the Blue Lagoon will resume despite the unchanged assessment of the police chief in Sudurns that a threat may arise from lava flow and gas pollution at Swartsengi, where the Blue Lagoon is, under the current condition. And that's what he said on March 27th, when he said it's not justifiable to open the Blue Lagoon. And now it is all of a sudden, right? So that's why I get the feeling that this is not really what he wants to do, but that it's what he's made to do. I might be wrong with that, but I always have the feeling when he had to open Grindavik, he wanted people out of there. He didn't think it's safe, and he has said that. But, you know, there was pressure from the businesses, from the residents, the lawsuits were filed, and I think the Blue Lagoon, since they're a significant part of Iceland's GDP, the pressure is probably high on him, and I think that's why. But he says that that is his opinion that a threat may arise from lava flow and gas pollution. And the press is writing, the Icelandic press is writing that now that the Blue Lagoon can open, it's a result of a meeting between the management of the Blue Lagoon and the police chief at noon yesterday. So in an announcement from the police chief, it says clearly there is a risk that air pollution can threaten the health of people in a marked danger zone, and that the risk is due to gas pollution. And we know he means the hazard map of the Icelandic Meteorological Office, and the Blue Lagoon is right in there. And then the Icelandic press writes this morning, it is the decision of the Blue Lagoon to start operations again after consultation with the police chief in Sudurns. So I just have the feeling, because they always, also in the announcement of the Blue Lagoon, they're mentioning that they're making this decision in cooperation with the police chief and the other authorities, the MET Office, etc. So if something goes wrong, we know where the blame will go. And they mentioned the police chief quite a lot. Of course, they're saying that now there's a dense network of gas meters in the area of operation of the Blue Lagoon, that there's a weather station located on one of the buildings of the Blue Lagoon, and that monitoring and response to potential gas pollution is now done in a completely different way than it has been in the past in the Blue Lagoon's operational area. But you know, if I measure it in the area, that means it's already there. And since the eruption is so close to the Blue Lagoon, the wind turns and boof, it's there. It doesn't have to travel far. And that's the danger, in my opinion. And that's why it's crazy, crazy, crazy to open up. And they're also noting that visitors of the Blue Lagoon, as well as non-emergency personnel, geoscientists, journalists, and those who work in Swartsengi, are not permitted to walk to the eruption from the parking lots of the Blue Lagoon or from the main access road, the Grindavik. So that's how close this eruption is. And then they're saying within the area, high levels of sulfur dioxide have been measured, but this pollution is considered very unhealthy, and it's likely that most people could experience respiratory symptoms. And also this announcement says it's important to stay indoors in such conditions, close the windows and turn off the air conditionings. So guys, I know what this calls for. This will be the next emergency evacuation or whatever thing that's going to happen if the gas flows into the Blue Lagoon. That is just my opinion, guys. Let me know what you think. Let's write in the comments. Let's discuss this. Let me know what you think. I would really like to know. Would you go there with what you know now? Would you go there, or are you a thrill seeker? Do you have your own gas mask? I don't hear anywhere that in the opening statement of the Blue Lagoon, we have enough gas masks provided for our tourists, or we have safe rooms where you can run into very, very quickly. Anything, no mention, right? this is, it happens very rarely, guys, but I think I'm just speechless right now. They're making me speechless and I have to shake my head. So let's talk about the land rise underneath Swartsengi a little bit, because something that has happened there is the last few days they thought, okay, the flow is even. So what does that mean? If you look at the map behind me, there's the magma chamber that used to fill up to a point of maximum elasticity, and then it would send magma out on its way into the Sutnuka crater series, was forming this 15-kilometer long dike underneath Grindavik on November 10th and had several eruptions since then. But now, since it's been going for over 20 days, they said there's a continuous flow from the deeper magma reservoir, and it's flowing right through the magma chamber and right out. So that's why the land rise had stopped, because usually even if there was an eruption, the land rise started right away basically, and now they thought it has balanced out. It's a continuous flow, like turning on a water hose. That's what I'm always saying. But it seems that has changed. They have said just the last 2 days, well, there is no land rise. It seems it's flat. But then yesterday they started to think, we have new satellite images. We think in the time frame between March 18th and March 27th, it was rising about 3 centimeters. So there were 2 craters left, and it looks like that the smaller crater seems to have gone out last night. There's still gas coming from it, but the larger crater is still doing the same that it has done before. And they're actually saying it's been very active last night, and it seems that the larger crater is taking over the one that was further from it. So basically it's taking over the lava that was coming out of the other one. So it doesn't seem like the lava flow has reduced. That's what the meteorological office is kind of saying. So last night there wasn't much gas pollution, and the one that was measured was probably during to the wildfires that are still burning on the edges of the lava tongue. But they're saying that the pollution could reach the west and northwest, could go over Swartsengi and Keflavik in the coming hours again. And another thing that they noticed, that they're saying that more is flowing into the magma chamber now than is flowing out. So it seems it's not balanced anymore, and it seems that that magma chamber is filling up again. So the land seems to be rising underneath Swartsengi and the Blue Lagoon, although the end of the eruption in the Sutnuka crater series is not in sight. So more magma is inflowing into this magma chamber, and then it's flowing out. So that's why it's filling up again. It's adding to the pressure again. And the inflow is not decreasing. It's clearly not decreasing. This eruption that has begun on March 16th is probably the most powerful on the Reykjanes Peninsula so far. So at the beginning, of course, it was very powerful, and the power of this eruption has then decreased rapidly. But in the last few days, it hasn't changed much. It has remained constant. So the indications are the lava flow that's coming out right now, it's about 5 to 10 cubic meters per second. So that is similar to the 2021 Fagradalsfjall eruptions. And it is very common that eruptions like this will last for a while. So because they're saying that more is flowing into the magma than it's coming out, and there's no signs that this will stop at any time, the experts think that it is possible that the eruption will rage for several months, as it happened at the time in Fagradalsfjall. And basically what the experts are saying, we need to be ready for this to last for quite some time. So what does that mean? We need to be ready for this. Yes, they need to watch the lava flow. That's the most important thing. if there's lava flow still threatening the defense walls, or is it threatening to flow over the road into the sea? So this is basically their biggest concern. And they're not sure, you know, how the lava flow will change, because it's now building up on top of each other. So this could change direction. So they're saying the lava might flow to the north or out south to the sea, but it would take time until it reaches that. If it flows into the sea, then it can cause toxic chlorine gas if it mixes with the water. To give this a time frame, this eruption has lasted about 10 times longer than the last 4 eruptions that we've seen in this area in the last few months, but it has only lasted 1/10 of the eruption that was seen in Fagradalsfjall. So it could last quite a while longer. And of course, now people are wondering and asking the experts, what will happen if it lasts much longer? So the scientists give out various scenarios. So they're saying the lava could pile up and move in a continuous flow along the dikes and could even end up in the sea. And another scenario is that it goes over the defense walls. And the third scenario would be that the lava builds up a lot and then gets diverted into the northerly direction, which would probably be the best right now if it's not flowing south towards Grindavik. So, but they're saying it is impossible to say how far the lava will go if this lasts another month, for example. But it will be very slow. That's what they can say. So it won't flow as fast as it did in the first few hours when the eruption began. So it did flow about 4 to 5 kilometers and reach the Swartsengi defense walls. And then it did flow down to Grindavik and was flowing alongside these defense walls as well. For more than 5 months now, the flow of magma into the magma chamber underneath the Swartsengi area, where my friend the Blue Lagoon is located and the power plant, has been quite constant, right? For 5 months. They're wondering, okay, this chain of events, what could happen? Yeah, well, it's a question. How long will it continue like this? They're saying it's not an unlikely scenario that this eruptive state with either a long continuous eruption like we're seeing right now, or repeated small eruptions will continue into the summer or in the autumn, or for decades or for centuries. Who knows? And the experts are saying there is no way to tell. So wait and see is the only chance that they have. But also they're saying this is something we need to prepare for, and it's a long way to deal with this. Yeah, and I think so. In my opinion, they should take more time and evaluate this more before they risk the life of tourists. You know, it's bad enough that workers of the Swartsengi power plant have to go there. They should leave the Blue Lagoon closed. I'd be the first to jump in and say, if they said, well, we have to leave it closed for the safety of our staff and for the safety of the tourists, I would be the first to take part in any GoFundMe operation to make up for the people that don't get their salaries or whatever, not for the profit of the big corporations, but I'm sure many people would understand and help out. But what they're doing it like this, you know, when repeatedly every day it's coming in that there's sulfur gas that might blow into Swartsengi, and you know, same in Grindavik, right? That's what also the police chief said. There's about 150 maybe more people at work every day, but it's mostly located around the fish processing areas where the fish comes in, the fish is processed. There are a few people indeed staying overnight in their homes. Seems they're living back in their homes, but most activity is mostly like fishing related business in Grindavik. And of course they have to be very careful if the pollution comes in. I assume they do have gas masks ready, but can you do this for tourists in the Blue Lagoon when there's 700 to 800 people? You wrote me in the comments that they're taking their chances, and I fully agree with you. And I think it's just, I think it's careless in my opinion, and I think it's the wrong thing to do because they've been lucky so far and they're testing it. They're really, in my opinion. So guys, that was my update for today. Of course, another one is coming. Check out the video in the end screen. There was a 4.8 magnitude earthquake in New York and in the tri-states. It could be felt. So that is crazy, right? Why is that? I'll explain it in my video. So all the facts there, it's here in the end screen. And if you want to hear more about Iceland, of course, I've got a huge playlist for that and some other stuff that I put in the end screen as well. So guys, thank you. I see you soon. Bye bye.